Friends, good afternoon and welcome for our new lecture series. Our first lecture series was on plastic analysis, wherein I received a very good response from our students, and I expect to get the same response in the coming future. Now we are going to start with our second lecture series on arches. I'll be covering 3 hinged arches and 2 hinged arches. There will be variety again. So we are now first of all starting with 3 hinged arches, which is simple to start with. Okay, so 3 hinged arches. Before going to 3 hinged arches, first of all we shall understand what is an arch. Okay. So this is usually the shape of an arch, which is either parabolic or semicircular. Okay. So what is an arch? Basic definition of an arch is a curved beam. Okay, a curved beam in which horizontal movement of these two supports is prevented. Okay, so this is the horizontal direction. So in this direction, the movement of these two supports is prevented, and because of this, a horizontal thrust is developed at the support. Okay, so these are vertical reactions and these are horizontal reactions, which will be known as horizontal thrust. Fine. So a curved beam in which horizontal movement of supports is restrained or stopped, because of which horizontal thrust is generated at the supports. Now, because of the different loading on arches, there will be 3 actions developed in the arches. Which are these 3? One is horizontal thrust. Okay. Second is shear force, and third is bending moment. So these are the 3 actions induced in the arches. Again, there are types of arches. What are the types of arches? The types of arches are depending on number of hinges provided. So this is from structural point of view, this classification. One is 3 hinged arches. Okay. Second is 2 hinged arches, and third is fixed arches. Three hinged, 2 hinged, and fixed arches. Out of this, 3 hinged arch is statically determinate. And as far as 2 hinged and fixed hinged arches are concerned, they are statically indeterminate. Okay, so solving a statically determinate 3 hinged arch is simple in approach. Indeterminate, that is 2 hinged arch, some additional equations of equilibrium are required. Okay, now we will go with further to the concept of theoretical arch. Okay, alternatively, this is known as line of thrust. So theoretical arch or line of thrust. We shall first of all assume a cable, suspension cable, which we have seen in engineering mechanics also. let us say it is subjected to some forces. Okay, what will happen in this? Some reactions will get developed here, horizontal and vertical, and between the support and this load, this part of the cable is going to get straightened, something like this. I'll just draw the projections here. So here is one cable which has now got straightened. Now this is curved portion between two consecutive loads. It will also get straightened. This third part or link here, and fourth is here. Okay, so these cables or small segments of the cable have become links, straight line links, wherein tensile forces are induced. Correct? Tensile forces are induced. Now let us invert this diagram, this link. If you draw the inverted shape of this link, how will it be? This is one link, this is second, then third, and then fourth. Okay, so randomly this is the inverted shape of the link. So this is inverted arch. So our three hinged arch is approximately of this shape. That arch will become different links connected together. Okay, when these links are connected together, it will become approximately a parabolic arch, but it is only for given set of loading. So when you get such a shape, it is called line of thrust. It is called line of thrust or theoretical arch. On the arches, these are loads. Arches are usually used in bridges. On bridges there are wheel loads. Wheel loads are passing from one location to the other. That is, vehicles are passing over the bridge. So at each time, location of this load will change. So it is not possible to change this shape of the line of thrust, which is an ideal shape. Okay, for a particular fixed position of loading, yes, it is there, we can define the shape of the arch, but shape of theoretical arch we can define. But when you are shifting these loads, instead of this point load you bring this here, you cannot change this. Why? Because those loads are not fixed, those are moving. And ideal or theoretical arch shape you cannot change, you will have to keep it same. Ideal arch shape will be something like this, parabolic, which we have approximated. Okay, so this shape cannot be changed for different load positions, so that shape is known as theoretical arch or line of thrust. Okay, now what are the different points that we need to remember? What is theoretical arch or line of thrust? Then we have to go to three hinged arches. Now what is three hinged arch? A three hinged arch is an arch which is having three hinges, two at the supports and one is at the crown. Okay, so these are three hinges which are provided to the arch. So now we will come to three hinged arches. So as you can see, there will be two support reactions at each support. So if this is A and this is B, C we shall assume as crown. So there are three hinges at each point A, B and C. So this is H, horizontal reaction on support A. This is horizontal reaction on support B. This is vertical reaction on A. This is vertical reaction on B. So how many unknowns are here? Number of unknowns are 4. Correct. How many equations of equilibrium we have? 3. Equations of equilibrium. Okay. They are 3. Which are these 3? Summation Fx is equal to 0 or summation of horizontal forces. Correct. Any symbol we can use. Second is summation of vertical forces 0, Fy, or summation of V is equal to 0. And third is summation of movement about any point, correct, is equal to 0. So these are 3 conditions. So unknowns are 4 and equations of equilibrium are 3. So one more condition we need, that is what? That is bending moment at crown or hinge is equal to 0. It means you will consider the complete diagram, you will apply the equations one by one and you will get some unknowns. Mostly you will get VA and VB. When you have to get HA or HB, you have to use this condition of equilibrium. You will use either left hand side part of the arch from crown or right hand side part. Okay. Now we will start with the derivation for the equation of this dotted line for the arches. Okay. So this is 3-hinged parabolic arch and this line is the line of thrust or the center line of the arch. On this center line of the arch there are 3 points. One is A, another is B here where there are supports, and C is the third hinge at the topmost point along the arch. Okay. That is known as usually crown. So at crown there is third hinge. Now we have selected one point along the line of this arch P whose coordinates are x and y from the origin A. Okay. So from A, coordinates of point P are x and y. If you carefully see horizontally, C point is exactly at the mid of AB. Length AB is L, that is span of the arch. Okay, I'll write down here. L is span of the arch. And there are 2 y coordinates. One is YC. What is YC? Central rise of the arch. And what is Y? Rise of arch at point P whose coordinates are x and y. Okay. Now since this is a parabola, this dotted line is a parabola, we already know mathematically what is the equation of this parabolic line. That equation is y is equal to kx into L minus x. Okay, we just have to develop this equation for parabolic arch. So we have some boundary conditions. What are those boundary conditions? At x is equal to L by 2, x is equal to L by 2, we have y coordinate as yc, correct? So let us substitute these two values of x and y in the above equation. So what will this equation become? Yc is equal to k into x is L by 2 into L minus L by 2, correct? So L minus L by 2 is L by 2 multiplied by L by 2. So this will become L square by 4. So this is k times L square by 4. So we have got the value of this constant in terms of central rise and span of the arch, that is 4yc upon L square, correct? Now we shall substitute back this value here. So what will be this equation? General equation of center line of parabola. Y is equal to 4yc upon L square, this is k, into x, inside the bracket L minus x. So you always remember this equation throughout for three-hinged parabolic arch as well as semicircular arch, okay, or even circular arches. So this equation is important, which will give us y value at each point on the arches. You just substitute x, span and central rise, that's it. You will get y ordinate for each and every point, okay. Now if you differentiate this, what you will get is dy by dx is equal to yc is constant, L square is also constant, so 4yc upon L square into, you multiply this inside the bracket first, so y, we will rewrite this first as 4yc upon L square into, you multiply x to the bracket, it will become Lx minus x square, correct? Now you differentiate this y, dy by dx is equal to 4yc upon L square into derivative of Lx is L minus derivative of x square is 2x. So you have got theta, slope of the arch at that particular point P, whose coordinates are x and y, okay. So if you want vertical coordinate, use this equation. If you want slope at this coordinate, dy by dx, use this equation. What is the difference? Y equation is 4yc upon L square, x into L minus x, and dy by dx 4yc upon L square, it is there inside the bracket L minus 2x, x is not there, okay. We just have to differentiate this, you will get these two equations, very simple. Remember these two equations, these are very important in three-hinged arches. We will be requiring these two time and time again, okay. So in next session we will start solving different types of problems and some different concepts. Thank you.